So I have this friend, right, who's apparently just discovered games are a thing, loves everything, and is looking up iconic games and is like, hey, you like Roll for the Galaxy? And I'm like, yeah, it's my favorite of the Galaxy games, from OG to New Frontiers. And he's all, yeah, I've heard that, but the thing is, I'm trying to wrap my brain around it. So I'm a good friend, and I consider for a second, thinking, hey, I'm an experienced gamer. I can break this down. So I'm all, let's see, you got your starting building and planet. You try to get the most points by the end, triggered by depleting the point pool or building the 12th square in your zone. And yeah, he's following along so far, but you can see where this is going. And there are 5 possible phases each round, which let you get more tiles to build the 2 types of tiles, populate dice on planets, or sell the dice you populated for points or money used to recover dice. At this point, his eyes are starting to glaze a bit, and he's all, yeah, the dice thing? And I'm like, simple. You roll your dice and line them up based on symbols and then assign one secretly to activate a phase, but it doesn't have to be the symbol of that phase, but still can be used for that phase since you assigned it to that phase. And all your other dice can be used if someone else activated that phase, but otherwise they can fuck right back to your cup to be used next time. At which point, I realized my friend was in a voluntary coma, wishing he took up puzzles or woodworking instead. The thing is, Roll for the Galaxy is legit awesome. One of these games that doesn't do itself any favors when standing up against modern production values and streamlined rule sets, but unlike Race for the Galaxy, where there's been loads of iterative riffs over the years, which, to be fair, Roll is one of them, in the decade since release, nothing has really done what Roll does. Combining elements of engine building and pick up and deliver, the game sees players expand their empire with new planets, adding more specialized dice and capacity for goods to their pool, or powerful technology buildings boosting their scoring and granting special powers. There's a ton of control at your disposal, both in how you pull new tiles to schedule for building, but also mitigation of dice. You got passive powers to flip-flop sides, tactical control over which phases you select, plenty of speculative tension over what your opponent might select upon revealing their role, and the ability to reap which dice you want to hire from your untapped human resources, aka the discard pile, aka the general populace of your empire at the end of a round. And while it's esoteric, it has a certain rhythm, a momentum that drives you forward round after round. And with an early and brilliant implementation of multi-use components, your dice are your action selection, your resources to spend on those actions, and the supplies on your planet, which, if you can line up matching colors on the planet, the dice used for shipping actions, and dice representing the good itself, you get mambo combo points, and the euphoric satisfaction of making your exchange of bits line up perfectly. But it is so obtuse. Streamlined and efficient, yes, but for as relatively quick and strategically simple as it is, the points of interaction are difficult to grok. So much so that for most games, unless I'm working with experienced players, we don't even shield then reveal our phase selections as you're supposed to do because you're so wrapped up in your polyhedral ant farm to pay mind to what everyone else is plotting. And it makes it way easier to coach players through their initial glazed eye confusion. And another problem is it just looks old. Even in 2014 it looked old because it was aping the style of Race for the Galaxy, and Rio Grande Games is essentially the Bob Seger of the tabletop industry. I love them, but if Dad Rock were made out of cardboard and plastic, it'd be this. But the whole point of this review is to say that these shouldn't be barriers. Roll for the Galaxy has withstood the test of time, with cool expansions to round out the content and continuing ardent support from its fans, including several great solo designs. If you like tight efficiency puzzles, both with the suspense and fortune that comes from dice, and the latitude and control that comes from tight engine building design, it's still one of the best.